All right, welcome back to Finally Some Time with Edgar and Janera.
Hi, guys.
Was that good?
Huh? Making fun of his intro. He always makes lowers the volume, and then he goes, "So we're back, guys. It's finally some time." Edgar and Janera.
That's what I do?
Yes. That's why it cracks me up.
Really? I didn't think it was like that. I was just like, I think I do this part. I'll smile like,
And then you look at the camera. All right, guys.
hey guys, finally back.
I make fun of you too much.
All right.
So we're finally back. This is take 2 once again, guys, because this guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
it is recording, so that's good.
Well, he recorded the whole thing, but then he left out the audio. So I was like.
Now we have a backup. So now this thing records too. It's recording to an SD card, just in case.
I hope so, because his second podcast, we have to do a retake. So here's another hour.
Hopefully not that long.
Yeah.
Our viewers have a short attention span.
Yes. I do too.
You're like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. So hopefully we cover all the topics we were doing in the original podcast. That's forever gone. But
yeah, I mean, we kind of like, not that we write down word for word what we're going to say, but just kind of like, all right, well, these topics or these bullet points, and then just kind of go with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
true.
hopefully it's practically the same or better.
Yeah.
Hopefully better.
So we left out 2 other questions from our podcast episode 4. So we're rolling them over to this one. And our first question was, what do we love about each other? I'm like, they really want to know about our love life.
They do. Yes. That's awesome.
Why is that?
I don't know. They maybe, what can we say? They put, I don't know. They probably just, I hope they just see that, like, oh, wow, they're happy. You know, they're always laughing. They're always giggling, and they get along well.
If you guys only knew the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Behind closed doors. Just kidding.
So what do we love about each other?
So me first or you?
Sure.
I'll go first. Yes.
You went first last time.
Yeah, I know, because then you're going to steal my stuff. And you did last time. I noticed.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. You're like, what do I say?
I still, even if since I already did it, I still don't know what to say. I'm always like weird when we come to these topics.
Yeah, it is a little. It's like me just telling you to your face, even though I mean we're telling other people too, which is kind of funny too. But no, definitely love that you're doing this with me, because this is so cool. Like, who says? Or I mean, there's some people on TikTok and all that literally have podcasts and it's, husband and wife. But like, not a lot of people do that. Like, no one's that comfortable with just be like, hey, let's just talk, let's chit chat and just, have a podcast. And I definitely love that. I'm adding more stuff this time because, just a little more things. I was like, oh, you know what? I love this about her.
Oh, look, my head is falling.
I love that you're crazy smart.
I'm really not, guys. It's all
illusion.
Just kidding.
No, like, I mean, you don't, what is it? Lack common sense. A lot of stuff that like people are always like, hey, Jenna, do you know this? Or hey, taxes that? Or hey, how about the insurance? Or hey, how about the car? Like it's funny because it's just like random information and you're like, oh yeah, and then sometimes you're like, hey, they're asking me this. Like, should I just tell them to give my number away? And I'm like, I mean, if you're comfortable. Yeah. Because it's about homeschooling. They were hitting you up about homeschooling. And you know about that. And not that like you're an expert, but at least the basics. For someone to ask you.
Just the basics.
Yeah. For someone to feel comfortable, like, hey, what do you think about it? Can you walk me through it? You're comfortable to be like, oh yeah, do this, do this, do this. Like, you already know. Yeah. So when it comes to that, comes to banking, comes to when we bought the house, when like everything, I mean, investing, you're like, no, don't sell your stocks, babes. I'm like, we talked about it last time. Yeah, like, yeah, I sold.
A lot of money we lost.
Yeah. Clearly, you're the, brains.
Oh, man.
Yes. So that's what I love about you. And then the fact that we get along so well with our humor.
True.
Like, I don't know anyone that like knows my humor. You do. You laugh all the time. We're always laughing. We're always giggling. We're always joking around. Yeah. And I understand like sometimes you're like stressed and all that, but you still laugh when it comes to just the jokes or anything, we like I mentioned, and then it's gotten to a point where like my humor has rubbed off on you. Like,
oh yeah, totally. Like some jokes I would have never said before.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh gosh, I'm Edgar.
Exactly. And that's where I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, you just you do the same jokes that I do now. And it's like, oh my God. Like the other day we were mentioning something and you should be like, hey, you should just look at the camera and be like, it's okay. I'm a limo driver. It's like
just things pop in our heads like so random. Like I could never tell these jokes to other people because I know they would look at me weird. Versus you just start cracking up right away. I'm like, yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah. And that's what I love as well. Yeah. That you could be yourself with me. That's awesome. And I love that because it just shows me that you're comfortable with me and you're not scared to show me you. I know like everybody else, we have our friends and all that, but they just don't know. I
haven't seen my side.
The Janira. Yeah.
The Janira. I think I've shared my side a long time ago, but then I got burned so many times that now it's like a complete wall. Well, maybe poking a little, but I don't show that side to
everybody.
Yeah. It's really hard now. So I only do that to you. You're like the only one I'm able to show that side now because I'm safe with you. Yes. Everybody else, you guys don't make me feel safe. No.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. Oh, just like that joke I was mentioning. Last time we said something and you're like, oh, that's intense. Not in teepees.
I know. And I always thought that joke was so like such a dad joke. And now I'm saying it. I'm like,
I learned it from a friend, but it's just so hilarious that you now say it. Like, dude, that's so intense. Not in teepees. Intense. That's what I love about you, babes.
Oh, yes. Thanks, babes. Yeah. And on my end,
go on. Think hard.
Oh man, see, this is what happened on the last podcast too.
Exactly.
I went blank. I'm like, what do
you didn't plan it? I was like, take two. I could kind of, change my.
Oh man, what? Oh, gosh, see, why you put me on this spot? I just love that he gets me. Just like how you said about me. Like, I feel so comfortable with you. I'm able to be like completely open with you, and I could say whatever is on my mind, even though I know some things are like out there. Yes. And you're like, okay, I get where you're coming from. It's like, and you'll give me non-biased opinions too, which I love because there'll be some things where I'm like, oh, like I know I'm in the wrong, but like I want to be right, and then I'm like, you got to tell me, just be upfront with me,
straight up.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, I guess, you're wrong on this. I'm like, no. But like, I love that. Like, I feel like I can't go to anybody and anybody give me raw truth. And that's what I need. You know what I mean? And I love that about you. And then I love how we're always laughing. Like, you don't, like you laugh with me, even the dumbest things. Like I just posted a TikTok. It's so dumb, guys. Like so dumb. But I could not stop laughing. It was just like at the moment thing. I think if I were to replay that TikTok, I'll be like, what was I thinking? But me and Jason were having so much fun making that TikTok. But it's stuff like that, and then he's always the first to be like, I'll like it.
Like nobody's 100 views and no likes. It's okay, babes. I got you.
Exactly. That's love right there, guys. What else? I just love that, like, he's always very supportive on everything I do. Like, I have an idea, and he's like, run with it, babe. Just run with it. Yes. And I'm like, are you sure? Like everyone, and that was another mistake. I'll talk another time, but like, before I would have the tendency of like telling people my ideas beforehand and they'll shoot my dreams down like immediately. You know what I mean? And I've learned my lesson, like, do not tell anybody your dreams until you actually do it.
Yeah.
You know, run with it first. If you fall, you fall, you fail, whatever. But do it and see if you succeed, you know? And now I always run it just by you. I don't tell anybody my ideas anymore. Like, again, you guys burn me every time. So I just run it by you, and you're always like, yeah, I mean, if you think there's potential, if you're really motivated, do it, you know? And I love that he's always like, just buy it, or just, you know, do what you got to do, or like, you know, invest in yourself, babe. And like, is very, very supportive. And I love that about you. And he's been very supportive on my ventures and stuff like that. Yeah, and like he lets me fail, and he's okay if I fail, you know? And like I said, that's my safe place right here. Because if I do fail, like, I know he's not going to be the person that's going to be like, oh my gosh, like, why did you do that? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. See, I told you. Blah, blah, blah. He's not like that at all. And I love that.
That's true. I just realized that. I was like, oh, wow, yeah. All the investments, the CNC machine, the laser machine, it's just everything.
Don't talk about the failures.
The failures?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love that about him. And then I love that he loves animals too. I'm obsessed with animals, as everyone knows. And I love that he's very supportive about it. Like, you know, like if I tell him like, hey, the neighbor's leaving out of state, and they're saying they're going to take their cat to the shelter. I'm like, it's a little kitten. They can't do that. It's not going to survive. Yeah. And he's like, don't do it. But he does it in a tone where he's like, he knows I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and it's funny because I remember that day where I got a notification on my phone. And I'm like, there's movement from the Ring doorbell. So I look at it, and I'm like, what? Wait, what's that kid
The neighbor's
doing?
kid?
Yeah, the neighbor's kid with a big cat tree, like walking in. You just open the door and they just like bring it in. I'm like, wow, okay. So we got a new cat.
It was meant to be a surprise.
It was funny, yeah.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be temporary, but then Jason got attached, and now if he gets attached, I can't, you know, I don't have the heart to do, you know, separate them. So
yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, if we could get like a lot more dogs, I mean, I don't know, we would need more land. But I mean, the other day I sent a picture of you about like 2 dogs that were on the street. It looks so cute, and I'm like, man,
and I'm like, pick them up. Always with our dumb jokes.
You see? Yeah, there you go. But yeah, thank you, babes. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. What else? ¿Qué más?
I thought I said a lot.
All right.
Thanks.
We'll go with the next one.
Off the hook, please.
We'll leave this to the dating.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, that was our next question. It was dating and marriage advice. So dating, I mean, we've been together for 12 years.
12 years.
So dating is like,
how long did we date for? Not a year, right? Maybe like 6 months.
If you consider dating until we got married, it was more like 6 years.
No, that's not dating.
But yeah. But yeah, I mean, we dated, I don't know, dating advice. Let's see.
So dating advice. All right. So let's go with, let's start with red flags. What not to do or what not to go for. Because I think I mentioned on the take 1 was knowing about the red flags and kind of knowing when to just, you know what, that's it. Like, you can't, because some things can be very, very bad. Like, let's just say they're abusive. They just say they yell at you, things like that. Or it's just like, dude, you guys need to know, just, it's not worth it. It's insane. Like if you're dating, you're not necessarily just dating them to like, oh, I'm gonna go with this person. No, you're kind of doing the whole. I'm a date to get married. I'm a date to have a family, to buy a house. And if you guys have like all these red flags with certain people, it's just like, dude, you want that for the rest of your life,
right?
That eventually goes to your kids too, because then your kids start seeing you guys fighting, or you guys yelling, or you guys just always angry or something. Like then the kids, they'll definitely get affected.
Yeah, exactly. I know when I met you, your red flag was bad credit.
Well, that's what we mentioned too. It's like, well, there's red flags, and then there's like those
different shades.
Different shades of red. Because
I mean, yours was pretty bad. If you want to talk about that.
Technically, it was bad, but like,
I guess it wasn't that bad. I've heard worse credit.
Really?
That's why I was like,
he's got potential.
Yeah, he's got potential.
Well, it's just like, yes, bad credit is bad, especially like, let's just say like, hey, we're starting a date, and like, oh, we need to go rent a place. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well, you didn't get approved. Your credit's bad. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
What does that kind of tell you? It's like, all right, yeah, that's
bad. How did I find out that you had bad credit? Did you like straight up tell me? I don't remember. I remember the first sign was you had gone to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Because I didn't even pay for it.
Yeah.
I paid her back, but my friend, she
took a loan from a friend that took you to Hawaii.
That was like the first red flag. Like, wait.
No, the first red flag was, first off, how much was it? It was like a really low amount.
Like $300. Yeah, I think it was like $300.
$300, guys.
And then, little by little.
Then he proceeds to tell me, I'm making a payment plan with her.
Yes.
And I'm like, how much are you paying her a month? Like $300? You should just like give her like boom. Yeah, it's just $300, you know? And I think you said you were paying her like $50 a month or $25.
That was pretty bad. Yeah.
It was a low amount. I was like,
dang, that's a big red flag, huh?
Yes.
And you still stuck. You see, there you go.
I mean, guys, it's case by case scenario, guys. And there has to be a balance with things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was red flag number one.
That definitely was.
I think that's where you proceeded to tell me other things about your credit. I'm like, all right, let's fix your credit, guy, because yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, I remember I had to help you on that one. I'm like, just pay her back, dude. Like, get rid of that.
Help me out. I remember that. Yeah, just get rid of it. And it's funny because it was just $300, but dude, I was okay. So at that time, I was working at UPS.
How old were you back then? That was like 23. You were 23. Yeah, we met at 23.
I was before that.
2012. Well, you're a little bit younger than me, so you're 22. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So around 22, and
so I give him that he was young.
Dude, I was. Well, I don't know. I mean,
you weren't young, but
no. Well, what I mean is just working at UPS, dude. I ended up finding a W-2. Mm-hmm. Dude, I made $8,000 for the year.
Yeah, tell me about it.
How can I pay $300? Why would I even go to Hawaai? But it was just, I mean, bad decisions habits, and all that. Yeah,
red flags left and right.
Everything's popping up. Yeah,
I'm like, you need to quit that job and go somewhere else, guy.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know, but that's just me. I don't know. I was in a different space, I guess you could say, compared to you. So like when I saw how you were dealing with life, I was like, oh no. With my history and stuff like that, I was very accelerated, or at least, I don't know, like I had to survive in a sense. So like I made sure like I lived comfortable.
Well, yeah, you lived on your own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm like.
Another red flag, guys. 22.
Okay. Just kidding. Another flag.
Well, at least back then, I feel like that was a red flag. Now I can understand inflation, all that nonsense, but.
Now it's like, all right, we get it. We're all struggling.
Yeah. But back then.
That's true. It's funny because it reminds me of another red flag, and it's another thing that I would do is like I was so broke
Yeah.
that I would put like $5 of gas just to get home. If anyone tells you that, dude, they're broke. Like they got nothing. It's like, dude, I just need to make it home. I'm running on fumes. I just need $5. And it's not like, oh, I'm, stopping to like, hey, do you guys have money? Like asking people for gas, gas money and all that. Like, no, I got $5. That's it. I just need to make it home.
I remember you would do that with me still, right? And I'm like, just fill up the tank. You're going to have to fill up.
Oh,
anyways.
no, that's a different thing. That was more of, not necessarily because I didn't have money. I just got used to never filling up 100.
Yeah, because I remember you would ask 100%. Me, you're like, do you want me to fill up your truck to like halfway? And I'm like, no, just fill it up. Like, I'm not going to come again in a few days or next week or whatever. Like,
yeah, that blew my mind. I was like, fill it up all the way? Whoa. You can do that? Oh, but in my head, and it's so dumb because like, okay, this was my thought process back then.
Yeah.
Why fill up 100 when you could just like, oh, I just fill up a little, like I'll just put $50 and then I'll put another $50 later. It'll last longer. It's like, no,
how
you're
still
getting your full last
amount.
Yeah,
same amount. That's why I was like, I don't get your philosophy on that.
It's like I'm not spending 100 right now, just 50.
Yeah.
Later, I'll spend the other 50. Guy math.
Guy math. You should make a segment on guy math.
Guy math. Don't fill up your tank to 100. Well, now it's like I have to, because once you know about like the sediments and all that inside of the gas tanks, that how it can mess up your fuel pump and all that, like you have to fill up to 100. Don't let it go all the way down. Like if you reach halfway, then fill it up again.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, you can't. I would drive it till it was like on E, and it's crazy because I feel like everybody knows their car to where like it reaches a certain point, like oh, the E's right here.
Yeah.
But it's like no. I still have a little bit more. I still got like 20 miles. I mean, back in the day, cars didn't have the whole range thing on the like, oh, how many miles per gallon you have and how much range you have left.
Right.
Now they do, but back in the day, I would just kind of like go by the little pile and then just like, all right, I'm still far from E. We're still good.
No, I trust my truck. Okay, I've had my truck for years. Okay.
Yeah.
So I knew if I ever reached that level, until one day.
Oh man.
It died on me, you guys. Like I completely ran out of gas because in my head I'm like, I can still make this stop.
Like the light never turned on, right?
The light never turned on, and it was like a little bit above E. So I'm like, I'm still good, like. I know my truck, I know my truck. No, in the freaking freeway, guys.
Twice,
yes. Yeah, first it was on the freeway, and I'm like tripping out. And he's like, you should have filled out. The light turns on. And I'm like, no, it did not. And then the second time, so I knew something was up.
Yeah.
So now, literally, I have to reset my odometer.
Yeah.
And once I start reaching a certain amount of miles, I'm like, I need to fill up because I do not trust my truck anymore. Even though it shows me, I never reach the level where the light turns on anymore. Or at least I never know because I never reached that level anymore. I learned my lesson those 2 times.
Hasn't happened since then, which is, it sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm scary on the freeway.
So totally off, right? It's funny because I was like, wait, why are we talking about this? But I'm like, because we're talking about dating. But so those are like flags, right? Okay. Yeah. Definitely. What else? Let's see.
I don't know. The way they react to situations.
Oh, yeah.
That's a total red flag right there.
Yes.
Like everything was too like, happy Wednesday, guys. You were too nice. That's kind of a red flag. That's like a pink.
I'm definitely very mellow. I don't react as like, so I don't get mad right away. I'm not driving and then someone gets like road rage or starts talking at me, cuts me off. Like I don't get mad. I'm just like, whatever, dude, go for it. Like things like that.
What were my red flags?
Your red flags?
I didn't have any. I'm just kidding.
So no, I don't know. I can't think of
anything. Next question, guys.
We were thinking about what we love about each other, not what we,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I haven't thought about that. I haven't made a list of that. So what other advice? Let's see. Okay, yeah. So red flags, just how they are in their life. Like, hey, do they have a broken car all the time? Because like, it's not that like.
There's moments where like, okay, yeah, you're struggling, but
yeah,
you're really trying hard in life. Like you're really working and you're still struggling. Okay, I get it. Like that shows the type of person that you are. But if you're kind of like, your car's always broken down.
And you're like, whatever.
You're always broke. You're always like traveling still.
Oh yeah,
or,
like let's just say,
like that.
yeah, your car's broken down, and you're like, hey, but I gotta go to this concert though, and it's like, dude, priorities, bro. Like you need to fix your car.
Like I had a friend, not gonna say names. If you're watching, you know who you are. Okay, I'm gonna kind of make it more vague because then people will know. But this person had owed me money, and by a certain time frame. And then they're like, hey, it's okay. Like, I pay you like 5 days later. And I'm like, no, it's due on this day. And they're like, are you sure? Because I need to go to this concert. And I'm like, I wish I could give more details on that to be like more like total red flag there. But like, you don't do that. Priorities are priorities. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that you got to take care of first, which is bills. You got to take care of bills first. And then, you know, save money. And then if you have, you know, more to spare, then go travel, do your thing and everything. But there's priorities in life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we're not saying that like, oh, you know, like that's bad to do. Like people, dude, we get it. Sometimes it's like, okay, what if I just do this instead, like this time? But while you're dating, if you see that, that's where it's like, all right, well, it could be a red flag because eventually it could lead to like, you know what, man, I don't want to pay my mortgage this month and we're just going to go to vacation. It's like, bro, imagine your husband does that or your wife does that. And it's like,
or, like, I forgot to pay the mortgage, guys. Yeah. I've heard someone do that.
Yeah. Oh,
you know, I forgot to pay it last month.
It's just,
like, how do you forget?
Yeah. That's where it's like, all right, now it's like eventually they could become an issue while you're dating. And then eventually if you get married, it's the same thing.
It's like habits.
Yeah. And
you have to look at the habits.
Yes. Not that like, oh, he wakes up, he doesn't do his bed. Like, really, dude? Like, we're going to go to sleep later.
I don't know about that.
But, well, let's just say, like, those little things is kind of like, you know, whatever. But there's other major things like that. And, I mean, eventually, it could be a lot of, like, what is it? Death by a thousand cuts. It could be a lot of little things that eventually it does add up. And it's like, okay.
So much.
There's only so much you could kind of, like, just, what is it? There's so much you could, like, disregard or that you're like, whatever, it's fine. Like, he'll be fine later. Or, hey, oh, no, he'll change, you know, things like that. It's like, sometimes they don't change. Like, they could just be habits and it could be for the rest of their lives. I mean, and then sometimes too is, it sucks that, like, let's just say a girlfriend or wife, it's like, hey, well, you need to change, babes. You need to do this, you need to do that. It's hard because if they're hard-headed, it's just going to be nonstop, like, arguing or nonstop.
It's not going to happen. They're not going to change unless there's, like, some life and death thing. Well, not those words. But, like, more of a, like, you hit rock bottom. I think that's the only time that potentially they could change if they're hard-headed.
Yeah.
And then another advice is, I come from a toxic relationship history from dating and stuff like that. And when I met him, his demeanor compared to my history was completely different. So my past relationships were always like roller coaster, you know, we're happy one moment, then boom, like, are they having a good day? Like, you know, type of thing, or just toxic stuff. Versus with him, it was more like, it was calm waters, you know what I mean? And to me, I was more like, I'm not used to this. I don't like this. And I remember during that time I was going through therapy and my therapist was saying like, what do you mean you don't want calmness? Like,
that's normal.
That's what you call normal. And I'm like, no, normal is this. And he's like, normal's over here. And to me, it was kind of like, whoa, like my brain was so trained on the toxic life that I didn't know what normal was. So for my therapist to tell me like, you should at least, try it out or whatever. And even my family was like, dude, he's amazing. Go with him. And I was the one saying, no, he's Mr. Nice Guy. Like, I don't want a nice guy.
Well, yeah. And it's funny because you mentioned about the therapy. You're like, yeah, like when I get mad and I yell or something, like he doesn't yell back.
Yeah. My past relationships were like, if I got upset, they acted like the victim and they got upset with me. And then it was always like
back and forth because we couldn't find common ground or whatever. And when I started dating you, like I would get upset and I would instantly feel like he needs to get upset too, because that's the norm for me. Yeah.
Everybody would always overreact and stuff like that. That was normal for me. And then he would just stay quiet and kind of like let me calm down. And I'm like, something's wrong with you. Like, this is not normal. Like, and then my brain starts going like, you don't love me. Like, because if you loved me, you would react. You know what I mean? And that's insane. That's insane, guys. So it took me, I would say, years to get out of that funk of toxic thinking.
Yeah.
And finally we're in a place where we're like, this is good. This is normal. This is healthy.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you guys have to look at is we all carry baggage.
Yeah.
And obviously we need to take care of ourselves first before we go into a relationship. Yes. But in my case, I brought my baggage with me and it worked out eventually. Yeah. But it took years for it to work. Yeah. Right? All the stuff that we went through and stuff. So, I mean, luckily it did work out. But, I mean, there was a moment there where we thought it wasn't because, But, yeah, that's another thing to think about is, you got to know what a healthy relationship is and how you yourself could apply it and how the other person should apply it too.
Yeah. And like you said, you have to be healthy, like yourself. Like, everyone says it like, oh, you got to love yourself. Like, because it is true. Like, how are you going to love someone if you don't love yourself? Like, dude, you're with yourself. You're yourself all the time. And
have the other person fix you.
Yes. Like, and definitely like that will help. Not that like, I'm not saying like, oh, you want it to be perfect, follow these steps. Like, no, I mean, we're all human. We're all going to like, have our ups and downs. I mean, it's life, things happen. But if you could work on yourself, that'll definitely help the relationship with two people that are healed from whatever they're going through or whatever they've gone through.
Baggage, trauma.
Because everyone has baggage. Everyone has trauma. Like the way we were raised, the way our parents talked to us, like the way our friends were with us, like anything and everything somehow affects us. So if we're not healed, like it's going to be hard to try to be with someone that's not healed as well.
Wow.
So before you start dating, try that out. Try to heal yourself or try to heal and then start your, whole dating scene. Cause it shouldn't be just dating. It should be, dating and marriage and then it's for life,
And then if you're already in it and like us, like we brought our baggage in and stuff. We were young. We didn't know better. But eventually, like for marriage advice and stuff, it's all about communication. Like I can't read his mind. He can't read my mind, So if you're feeling a certain way, you need to communicate it and let him know, hey, doing this is making me feel like this. You know what I mean? Is there a common ground that we could, and we talked about this on the other podcast too. Like one thing that really bothered me was like, I felt like I was doing everything in this household. And to him, he's like, well, what was it? Like, you felt like it was already done, or you felt like, oh, that could be done a different day. And then to me, it's like, it needs to be done today because I'm the type that like, if I see a mess, it stresses me out. Like it overwhelms me. So we did this whole, we communicated about it. And there was times it was like a vicious cycle. Like we had this conversation before, it keeps happening, you know, until one day we finally made a breakthrough. And then we decided to make like the calendars and also like a to-do list.
Like,
So for each day, like today's Sunday, this needs to be done, but it can't be like a crazy amount of things either.
Because then it's just like too much. Like,
yeah, we're gonna overwhelm each other and be like, "Are you
sensory
serious?"
overload.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was one thing that helped us in that struggle that we were going through.
Yeah.
So communication, and also my way of communicating as well is by writing on there, like, "Hey, the grass needs to be cut today," or I don't know.
Well, it's just the major things too, right? I think we mentioned it too. Like, just major things. Nothing like, oh, dishes, oh, sweep, oh, table, oh, kitchen table. Like every little thing, like, oh, mop this, mop that, or clean this, wipe this. Like, we're not writing all
major,
that.
Like
major things, something
done today. Like, please help me, or somebody needs to do it, whether it be you or me, like as a reminder to myself, but it needs to be done today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not about just communicating. Like, it is one thing to like, oh, yeah, he hears me, but he's not listening.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's not just communicating, not just talking to each other. Like, no. Like, you have to listen to each other.
Yeah. That's a major thing. And what else? Just supporting one another. Like, you guys are a team.
Yes.
Act like a team. It's not like, well, you did this. Like, no. What could we do so that we could be both, you know,
on the same page, work together towards the same goal.
Exactly. So again, that goes back to like, hey, when this happens, I feel like this or whatever, but we need to act like a team. Like, if we're going to move forward, what's our goal that we could do right now that we could accomplish so we could get there? And again, act as a team. Like, we're on the same team. Don't act like you guys are on different sides, because that's just gonna, you're setting yourself up for failure or an argument or resentment,
just disagreements. Yeah.
So that's another big thing that I feel like in marriage, you have to act like a team.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody outside the family, Saudi, we're a team here.
The way you say it, we're a team here.
We're a team here.
It's true. And then that goes to like the way you said it perfectly when it comes to dating or marriage. When it comes to that, you're not just dating the person, or let's just say marrying the person.
Yeah.
You're marrying their family.
Oh, yes.
Remember that. It's like it's way better that everyone gets along as a family, like aunts, uncles, cousins, or, you know, in-laws and all that. Like, I just mean like you are marrying into that.
Yes.
You definitely are marrying into that. Oh, and you're marrying into the bloodline. Remember the test I guess they did?
Oh, yeah, guys.
We didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that I guess I had a certain gene for the
sickle cell trait.
Yeah, trait. So if you were to have it, you were to have had it.
The trait, yeah.
Our kids would have had sickle cell.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, that's another thing too. When it comes to dating or like marriage, like do that. Like do the test, do exams, blood tests. Like, hey, are we compatible? Because what if you're not?
Yeah. And then you find out later on, you know. We didn't find out until like Jason was born, and then they sent us a notice about it saying like, hey, your son has this trait. Luckily, it's just a trait.
Yeah, but we told him like, eventually we're gonna tell him again.
Yeah.
When he starts dating, he starts like trying to think about getting married.
Yeah.
He needs to worry about that too. Like, hey, you can't, unfortunately, unless you just never have kids. All right, cool. Or unless you want to wing it, but really like, like when it comes to that, like, no, just be careful. Yeah. You know, be ready. And
I heard, I read, I could be wrong. Maybe I misread it, but I read like those tests now when you have a kid and they send you like that notice, like, oh, like in our case, they sent one for Jason and they sent one for Jenna too. That now they're not obligated to send you that notice now. Like you have to opt in
to send it
for them to notify you like that. Like I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I didn't, and they just automatically sent it to me. And that's how we became aware. And we're like, oh crap, I got tested because I didn't know who had it.
Yeah.
And then we found out later that it was your bloodline.
Yeah.
And I don't have it, but I was going to say, so nowadays, if you were to have a kid, they're not going to send you that notice anymore. So I guess that's something to bring awareness to, that definitely get tested and stuff like that, because now you have to literally opt in order to get it. Everybody's automatically opted out from getting those notices now. So that's kind of trippy that they did that. I don't get why. But yeah, luckily we found out. So now we know both our kids, unfortunately, have that trait.
Yeah.
And we have to let them know that, hey, in the future, if you guys ever decide to have kids, get tested for that, because it's a good chance your kids could have it if the other person has that trait also.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it's so hard. Like dating, it's like,
so many
it's
components.
crazy. Yeah.
Life.
We don't know. Like nobody says things like, there's no like training seminar like how to date,
Yeah.
It's just insane. And like what to look for, what, like, oh, bad credit, good credit, oh, like, blood traits, oh, like just habits, things like that. Like, dang, how they are with money. Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's just so much to it. And it's not like, oh man, like, dang, these are all red flags with my current boyfriend, I'm just, peace, I'm out.
Yeah, no.
It's like, I mean, we just don't know though. Like you said with me, when it comes to bad credit, we literally finally have a house, paid off cars. Like it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like you see these red flags and everything. It's like, okay, no, or don't have this big old checklist on this person. Like, oh, he doesn't meet this, he doesn't meet that. Like, I understand to have a few, but don't be like straight up like so strict about like this person needs to meet these qualifications. Like, you're never gonna find a perfect person.
That's the thing. It's no one's perfect. And
I think the main thing you need to look out for is how they act, like as far as like, are they abusive? Are they narcissistic? Are they like, I feel like those are the main ones that you should really look for, because that's them. Like, that's to their core. You know what I mean? There's no way they're going to change that.
And it's different. Like, okay, like let's say they have all that, but they're going to therapy. They're working on it. They're working on themselves. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
You don't know, because somebody could be, somebody could be like, well, I'm going to therapy. You have to understand. It's like, are you just saying that, oh, I'm going to therapy? But in reality, the truth is, you're still going to be the same person. You know what I mean? Because some people use that as like a crutch. Like, I'm going to therapy, I'm going to church, I'm doing this and this and that. But you see certain things, you still see those red flags. Their actions are still not, and then you can see those people that are going therapy, and you could see sincerely that they are trying and they're making small changes to the better. Again, it's just, you have to just really have that discernment on people and be very, look and see, am I just being fooled? Am I being gaslighted? Am I being blinded because I love this person? So many components, but
it's
one shoe does not fit all. So
there's a lot to it, definitely.
So the next thing is about life. Since we're talking about life, is putting your eggs in different baskets.
Oh yeah. And then that comes into play with how we are on the same page. Because let's just say if you're not on the same page and someone wants to do something, the other person's like, no. How are you going to build a foundation, by yourself when your other partner is like, nope.
Yeah. I would have to think of a way of where, like, how you can meet when you do have those disagreements. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the end goal is a thing. Like, well, what is our end goal? Like, okay, let's just say our goal is to have, 5 kids. Like, well, what do we do to get to that? Yeah.
We're not having 5 kids, guys. Just kidding.
But like, okay, like that, like, okay, not that like, oh, we want to be rich or wealthy, but like, we want to have money to be comfortable. But what
Right.
are the goals to do that? Like, oh, what do we invest in buying a store? Or what do we invest in doing this or starting a business?
Right.
That's where it's like, all right, well, as a, partners,
Right.
you got to figure out like, all right, well, is that what we want? Is that what both of
Right.
us want? But it's like, no, I'm going to start my own business. You do
Right.
your own thing. It's like,
Like how we had agreed, like I was making good money at my old job. And we had agreed, like, you know what, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom because when we didn't have a babysitter after all, that fell through.
Oh, that was all during COVID too.
Yeah, so that's why it fell through. And then I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, I don't want to have my kids in childcare anymore because I remember with Jason, like, having there so early and then I would still be working overtime and then I would pick him up after. It was horrible. Like, I don't want that life for him. And then we had Jenna, and then I was like, you know what, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And we had that conversation, like, we're going to lose a big chunk of income because I was making more money than you during that time. Yeah. So I'm like, we're going to lose a big chunk of income, like, we're going to figure this out. But at the end of the day, we're like, we could do it. We'll figure it out. And we were still on the same page. And then that's where, like, I was like, I need to make money because my brain has to be doing something because if not, I will get in a depression. I don't know, I'm weird like that, but
you've seen the patterns.
Weird, but I've seen the patterns of my life. Like, I have to be productive. Yeah. If I'm not productive, I fall into depression, unfortunately. So that's why I told him, like, and that's when I started my whole CNC business with the woodworking.
Well, it's funny because you started with, like, what was it? Like,
I started with your tools.
Cricut?
Yeah, with Cricut. Yeah, Cricut. I don't know how you say that. I still don't know. I started with that, and I thought that was amazing. And then I saw people using a CNC machine. I saw laser and CNC, but then I went to the CNC for some reason. And
well, the price was big difference.
No, they're the same prices.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you just gravitated towards...
Yeah, I gravitated towards that for what I was aiming to do. And you supported me on it. Like, just do it, invest in yourself, and hopefully, it pans out. And everybody was telling me, like, oh no, like, you're investing a little too much.
Yeah.
You sure about that? Like, I got a lot of negative feedback. I'm like, geez, I thought you were my friend. Like,
yeah.
And then, fast forward, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing so good.
Yeah.
I was like, I saw people using a laser now. I know I could do a lot more things with a laser, and you supported me on that. We literally drove
all the way to, what is it, Sherman Oaks or?
Yeah, it was like a 2-hour drive. We rented a U-Haul. Because this thing is massive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man, I should have posted the pictures. That would have been cool. I have them, but.
I look all weird on there, all like ghettofied.
There's somewhere you just see it on the truck, which is funny.
Yeah? Okay, we could put that one.
Maybe next time. Oh, we'll put it on the Instagram. Oh. What is that on there?
Yeah, we drove that thing back home, and oh my gosh, guys, that thing is a beast. Yeah. Like, I thought my CNC was a beast. Still is a beast.
Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, you save time. You're saving time. That, I mean, in the end, that saves you money because you're just not spending that much time there, but you are producing more, like,
and it's faster. More detailed. It's more, I don't know, there's so many more things to it. But anywho, like, you supported me on that. And now people are like, oh, wow, you're actually doing really good. I'm like, yeah, I wish you could have, like, given me that, encouragement before. Like, set your mind to it, Janira. Like, and I feel like we need to do that with everybody. Like, if they have an idea, you see, like, they're so, like, ambitious about it, pump them up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, get them motivated, push them to, even if they fail, be there when they fail. You know what I mean? And it sucks that I didn't get that. Like, everybody was like, and that's where I learned. I'm like, you know what? So when I got the laser, I did not tell anyone. It was just you. I'm like, babe, gotta get it, please.
Well, yeah, I had to go with you.
Yeah, we all went, And even when I brought it home, I didn't really say much. Yeah. I just kept it under the wraps because, people are unfortunately, not supportive sometimes.
Yeah.
Or they hate on you on your success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it just sucks that happens. And that's something that I learned, that we need to be more supportive with each other. And like, so when I hear somebody wants to start a business, stuff like that, I'm like, yeah,
Like,
do
heck yeah,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
Do it. I mean, it's different where like someone says like, hey dude, like what do you think? I'm gonna invest 20 grand on like the sticker making machine. It's like,
yeah, no.
Whoa.
Well, let's really think about your market here. And like,
and think about it, like break it down, like make a business plan. Cause
yeah, you gotta make a business plan.
Yeah. Cause you want to invest, and we want to, definitely start a business. Cause eventually it could be income, extra income, but don't just like wing it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, but it does help out when someone's like, oh, giving you pointers, like, hey, oh yeah, try this out. Oh, make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Hey, what about your business license? This and that. Like a lot of people, they're just like, oh, what? Like I need to do all that. It's like, well, yeah, be ready for your taxes too, because
be legit.
Yeah.
Because I hear people tell me all the time, like, oh, you don't want to cut corners and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go into that, but I'll just leave it like that. No.
So so you do that. We were thinking about doing like the jumper, just like renting it out. We have like a couple tables, couple chairs.
I think we said that on the last podcast, how we got a jumper, a really nice jumper with a slide and everything, with the pool, super cheap. So yeah, we have like tables, chairs now, and we bought tables and chairs too, because we would have parties, and instead of renting it all the time, we have our own stuff now. And we were also thinking that, like, worst case scenario, we could just rent that out if we need extra money. You know what I mean? So it's like, it works both ways. It helps us out on parties, and also helps us if we need the extra hustle money, or just, something happens. We have kind of like a backup game plan, We even have the little jumper for the little ones, little with kids, the little Tykes one there. Huge baby
like a little
fencing gate thing that people use at birthday parties too. So I was even telling you, I'm like, dude, that's a whole other set that we could rent out, But again, that's all like as a backup plan. And if you guys need a jumper, we can rent it to you. Okay. Don't expect free things too, guys, because some people, oh my gosh, guys, you don't understand. So many people reach out to me, and they think just because you're my friend, or even family sometimes, they expect things free. And I'm like, this is my life. Like, this is what I do for a living. Like, I need to support my family too, Like, you guys, please don't do that to me. You guys put me in an awkward situation. And it sucks. Like I'll do it for free if I have the means to. But if I'm like, literally, there's sometimes where I'm like, I'll let somebody like rent the jumper for free and stuff like that. But then it becomes like back to back to back to back. And then everyone's expecting it for free. I'm sorry. I can't do that.
I mean, the thing's heavy, dude. The one we have is so heavy.
It's huge. It like fills up the whole back of my Tacoma truck. Like, we're going to have to like move it over there.
Drive it all the way over there. And
then it. That's our gas money
drop
too.
Drop it down to
time.
Set it up.
Clean it. Yeah. Like, and then your party's over. Okay, now we got it. Fold it back up. Yeah. Load it back in the truck. Oh, man, take it back home. Unload it. Like, it's so, like, I barely help you because that thing's so freaking heavy.
It's
but
like over like 200 pounds or more, I think. It's so heavy.
It's so
especially when you fold it.
Yeah, it's like a lot of work, guys. And it's like, not only that, like with my business too, like, or can you do it like super cheap? Like, support your friend's business, guys.
Yeah, like
just like how you would go anyone else, like
I'm trying. I'm not that like I want to be like a professional photographer as well, but one of my friends asked me to do the wedding, and I'm like, I'm totally down. Like if I could get into that, if I could get into like doing wedding photography, like I have all this gear now, and I've been like just accumulating more.
Right.
And I was thinking about like, heck yeah, like I should do that. Like I put on Nextdoor if anyone does like wildlife photography around the area, because it'd be cool to like, all right, well, let me go with them and maybe even sell pictures, sell like you know, images, and people would buy them, and then that becomes another source of income, which is cool. Like, I mean, I like it.
Right.
as like a hobby, but if I can make some money out of it, like that'd be cool. Same
like
thing
to
with
build
this
your
one.
portfolio and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why we had talked like you should charge at least a little bit to cover at least your time, but just because you're just starting, okay, like you don't want to charge what normal rates are.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna like.
Yeah, and that's what I did in my business too. Like when I had first started, I was doing like giveaways for free. That was the time for you guys to jump in and get free stuff. Or I did things at a discounted price, you know, or whatever the scenario is, you know. But now that, like in my business, I'm now like people are like referring me left and right. I'm busy, guys. Like this is not the time where you expect things for free. Like, I'm sorry, no, this is my business. These are my rates and yada, yada, yada. But in your case, like now you're starting out photography.
Yeah.
You should at least charge at least a little bit.
Yeah.
At least for your time, because you have very expensive cameras and you're obviously doing a good job already as it is, but you need your portfolio. So
which I need to get on it. It's but it's just like, it's that little like, I don't know, like, oh man, I'm a little scared to just do that leap. But then again, it's not like, oh my God, I'm investing crazy amounts because I've already bought the stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a little scary, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm definitely looking forward to that wedding. Like that'd be so cool. Like just to have that as like my portfolio, and I am just hoping like these pictures look amazing, you know? And then for my friends too, like I just hope like they like them too. That'd be cool. Yeah. I'll probably do something like, you know, some free sessions or like super cheap sessions. Because even with like animals, like I'd be so down for like for pet photography, wildlife, you know, weddings.
Yeah, we have so
portraits,
many ideas already.
Anything. Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, do it. Run with it. And like there's potential there. And that's with anything. Like if you start something, you have to constantly, you know, work on it. Like spend an hour a day just focused on whatever your goal is, whatever, and spend an hour, dedicate an hour a day, you know, and you'll see your business thrive. And just like yours, like if you have these ideas, write them down, set a date of when you want to accomplish those goals and stick to them. Like, hey, it's already summertime, you know, you wanted that goal by that time frame. Are you getting close to, you know, accomplishing that goal, or what?
Or what can you do to, you know, hit the goal?
Yeah. And that comes to that hour a day, like research, YouTube, do different things, look at other businesses, listen to other podcasts of people that are like doing that, or a motivational podcast, or whatever the scenario is. Go deep into that and, you know, research it or listen to it, whatever. And I feel like that's how you thrive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Also,
and then just remember, you are a team though. Yeah. Because when like her right now telling me all this, it's like, dude, you guys got to be on the same page, and that's what makes me feel comfortable. Makes us work as a team. Because like that's why we got you a laptop, like for your work. Because it's like, dude, like if we got to go anywhere, bring your laptop, like work on it. You keep working, like it doesn't matter, you know, like, oh, well, I need to stay home. It's like, no, take your laptop, do your job on the road as a family, all of us. And that's where it's like, that's where it comes to working together as a team for the same, you know, the same goal. Yeah. Same goal. Yeah. And that's where it's like, dude, it just makes it awesome, like working as a team like that. Because like let's just say you're always working, I'm like over here like, oh man, like, well, I didn't like this business, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, why is she always doing this, why is she always doing that? It's like, dude, that's rough, you know, like you definitely need that partner, and you guys need to be on the same page, and it just helps so much in the marriage as well. Like it's awesome.
And it's always a balance. Like don't make any of these things your
priority, like your number one thing. Like, no,
family is priority. Yeah. Like I started noticing I was getting too busy and I started hearing my son say it like, Mom, you're just working all the time. We can't play together. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to advertise this week. I'm not going to nothing. And it slowed down. And now we're playing more. I don't know if you noticed, like this week it slowed down. And I basically did it on purpose. Like we're living okay. We don't need, obviously we always want more money, but family over everything, you know? Yeah. So I slowed it down And like, I'm taking advantage, like an opportunity is like, while he's doing school, I'm going to go cut a sign really quick,
Yeah.
you know, take advantage when he's busy. I'm busy too.
Yeah.
And then when we're both free, we're both free. So it's always a balance, guys. I don't ever make a certain thing like your God, so to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so you always have to find the balance too. You know, if you got to hear out your partner, your kids. Like if they start saying little things like that, catch on to that because they're telling you for a reason.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, and you don't want to grow up eventually. They're like, man, like why don't our kids hang out with us? It's like, or your kids are gonna be like, well, you never hung out with us. Like,
exactly.
What do you expect? Like, dude, we were raised by ourselves, and you guys were always doing this and that. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
And that's what, like right now we're doing this while they're asleep, you know,
Yeah.
or just trying to like squeeze it in. Cause it's like, yeah, once they wake up, it's like, all right, well, let's give them our attention, go somewhere, go hang out.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, I mean, and then we made another move the other time and I had talked about this. I've always wanted to do it, but I don't know why I never did. But moving our savings to like a high yield savings account. In my head, for some odd reason, I was thinking there's these things called like CDs, and it's like a high percentage, but you have to move your money in there, and it's locked in for like a term. Like it could be like 12 months, and you can't touch it, or else you get penalized. And then what's the point? You know what I mean? But there's these accounts called high yield savings accounts that are like 4.5% or 5% back.
Yeah.
And we have money sitting in our savings account right now that has like what, 0.2%, 0.1% return.
So it's like barely even giving us anything.
I'll get like 2 pennies for the year. Maybe not a little, but very little. And I was thinking about it for the longest. I'm like, I don't know why we have our money there. You know, we have money in stocks, we have money in other places too, but we have our like emergency money.
Yeah, it's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there. And I'm like, and I've been seeing these posts and stuff about high yield. And I was like, you know what, let me look into it. And I looked into it, and there's like these accounts that do it at 4.5% or 5% yield back. So if your money is just sitting there.
Yeah, and it's not like you're going to, I'm getting rich with it. Yeah, it's like, no, but
it's a lot more than a penny.
Yeah. And like, let's just say the more money you have, the more you can make from that.
Yes.
It's awesome. Like,
yeah. So we decided to go through Apple.
Yeah.
Just because I love Apple, how it's so easy, like Apple Pay and stuff. You know, I mean, there is another bank that was a little bit more you could get back. It was like 5% return. Yeah. But
eventually Apple will get there though, because they started like at 4%, then it went to like 4.25.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Little by little, it's at 4.5 now, so it might even go to 5.
Yeah. So I ended up going through Apple, and then unfortunately with Apple though, you had to open a credit card, and I'm like, I do not want another credit card. Like,
yeah, you just have to have their Apple card, and then you could do the Apple savings. Yeah.
So I had to open that up. I was so annoyed. I was like, I don't want to open it. It's going to ding my great credit scores. But regardless, so I got the savings account. Then we moved our money there. So potentially we'll be making extra money. Yeah. And it's just sitting there. You know what I mean?
Doing nothing. That's so cool.
Nothing. Exactly. So that's another opportunity to make money.
And we're on the same page about that. That's the best part. We're like, yes, we do this. Hey, we should do this. So it's like, all right, yeah, let's do it. You know?
Yeah. So now we have money in stocks, investments, and now the savings account. And then I still have the other savings account. So I put a lot less savings on that one it's easier with my checking. I'm saying too much here, but you guys are like,
she's going through
sorry, all my numbers are like, but yeah, so now we're making extra money there. And then another idea you had mentioned to me, and I still have to do it. It's on my to-do list, on my goal list, is like making templates and stuff. So that way I can make passive income. Yeah. Because I follow all these forums for the stuff that I do, woodworking. And we use a specific type of file. And a lot of people don't want to do the work to make the file, if that makes sense.
Like the design and the code for that design.
Yeah. Like people don't want to make the design because designing takes a lot of work, guys, like a lot of work. So if I could design something and then just put the code up there, people could buy my code. And I don't have to keep redesigning. The code is made. You know what I mean? So I have yet to make those things and just make passive income there because people could just keep buying. It's unlimited.
Yeah.
You know, it never sells out.
Yeah, it's digital. That's awesome.
Digital, yeah. So another way to make extra money, you know, and it could be other ways, guys. Like it doesn't have to be like woodworking. It could be like a template for anything. You know what I mean?
Even 3D printing. Yeah, there's codes and all that people sell online for like 3D printing. You just buy the code and
it makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to design it. It's just you buy the code and put it in and it makes it, you know, it's cool. So it's easy. Sometimes I've been tempted to buy codes like that because I just don't want to do the work. You know what I mean? Like just
the
save
design,
time.
right? Yeah.
And the codes are really cheap. So it's like eventually people buy a lot and you can make a lot of money that way. So that's my next goal. And I said it beforehand. So one of my things I usually don't do, but that is a goal. So hopefully this holds me accountable.
Yeah.
Accountable? Like, accountable.
Are you saying
like cannibalism?
Are you saying a cannibal?
There I go, mixing up my words. Now I can't say it. It's in my head.
It's making you accountable.
Accountable.
Or not.
I hate it when I say it.
It's holding you to it. There you go.
Yeah, we'll use that word. It's holding me to it. I hate it when you start saying a word and it's so easy to say, but then you said it wrong. And now in your head, it's like.
A cannibal.
I don't know how to speak English, guys.
Cannibalism.
I just lost my vocabulary there. But yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, you just got to make money or like the offer up. Like a lot of times what you would do.
Yeah.
Sometimes me, but not as often as you do. You're the offer up man when it comes to
but it becomes a little bit of an addiction, which you do got to be careful because there's only a certain amount of money you should invest and then like buy things and resell because that's all it is on offer up, you know, like use things and you could just buy them and resell them. But if you're like going crazy and you're always just like on there and your phone's like cling, 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 you know, the little like text messages, like the money sign, then yeah, it's a little too crazy, but I definitely like it because sometimes you get lucky and you get these crazy deals and you just buy it and just resell it.
Right.
And it's so cool because it's just another form of like making some income, you know?
Yeah.
I know some people like on there actually buy like the pallets and they like sell everything. Oh. That could be another investment. But then it's like, dang, dude, like sometimes there's pallets. So people have storages full of like things that they haven't sold. But it's like, dude, like I mean, but you could make money that way. And I mean,
and these are not like jobs. These are just to make extra money. Yeah. Like, shoot, it could pay for your dinner for the day. You know what I mean? Like,
even if it's $40, $50.
I remember I took on a job and I didn't want to do it because it was so late. And I was like, no, like it's too late. They're asking for something super last minute.
Oh, they needed it the next day, right?
They needed it the next day. And I'm like, bro, you're texting me like at 8:00 at night and you want it in the morning. Like
I mean, we gotta be reasonable at that point. It's like, come on, dude. I understand sometimes like you need an expedited order. But it's like, dude, you guys gotta do it within reason. Like, think about it. Like, don't message that late for something that important, you know, for the next day.
Right.
But what happened?
Yeah. And I literally told her, I was like, you know what, if you do something with the designing, I was like, if you give me the okay on the design within the next half hour,
then I'll be able to.
I'll do it. Fine. Because this guy is like, just do it. It's easy money. I'm like, I know it's easy money. Pay for our dinner. Yeah. And you're like, it'll literally pay for our dinner right now because we're about to leave and go get dinner. And I was all thinking about it. I'm like, it is really easy to do. But, and then she texted me like an hour and a half later, like, I'm so sorry. I was here somewhere.
Yeah.
Edgar's like, just do it. I was like, you're right. It'll pay for our dinner. Like,
and you did.
I did it.
You know, you did it pretty quick. And like you literally made enough money just to pay for our dinner for that day.
Family's dinner, yeah.
And it was just like, it's awesome because you see our bank accounts and our bank accounts still stay the same.
Yeah.
But you're making this
free.
other money.
Free
girl money.
math. Girl math. It was a free dinner, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, just make sure you guys are on the same page though. Cause right there, like, hey, I know you didn't want to do it, but it's like, dude, that could pay for our food. And then, when it comes to food, oh
my God. Right.
Yeah.
Even though we have the money, but yeah, like you said, like it's literally like we're not touching our money in a sense. So that kind of sold me on it. I was like, fine.
It feels cool. It feels cool to literally like,
we didn't really spend anything.
Yeah. And then it was like, I mean, it took a few minutes of your time, but like it was very simple. And as long as like the customer made it like very simple, like, hey, they picked the font and all that like right away. It's other times where it's like, oh, dude, like this is a 1 hour job and then I need to paint and all that. That's where it's like,
yeah, that's where I was gonna say no. But she wanted a very simple
so that helped out
job. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for now because I feel like we're going over an hour on this one.
Dude, it is. It's been an hour, but no, we have like more stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll save for the next one. We'll just kind of like go through our notes and
I mean, we could keep going and going, guys.
Yeah,
like
3 hours.
By the way, if anybody wants to join our podcast, Edgar did get 2 more mics, so we could potentially get 2 more people on here. Yeah. Maybe just 1 though. Just start off.
Maybe just
I don't know.
2 right here, dead center with the camera right on
them. Let us know if you guys like to.
I mean, we can talk
but
about
bring something
anything
to the table though. Yeah. Like, if you're like, how can I explain it? Like if you're really deep into like finance or you're really deep into like, I don't know, anything in a specific topic. If you're really
anything you would like to just talk about.
Yeah.
For an hour. Anything you could talk about for hours. I mean, of course we'll try to squeeze it in. But anything like that, like you're very like
any topic. Like it could be about like your history with relationships. Yeah. Like you're really passionate about that, or like anything that you're passionate about. I think we should run with that. That'll be fun to do.
Definitely.
And then we could just piggyback off each other.
Yeah, and it's just like if somehow, some way it brings awareness to someone, like someone watching, and they just enjoy what you're saying, like, dude, it's awesome. I mean, hopefully it changes someone's life and helps them out some way, somehow,
Exactly. Yeah. So if you want to join, message us and then also write, what you want to talk about. Don't just say like, oh, hey, I want to join your okay, but like, what are you going to bring to the table, guys? Like
I just want to sit in.
Yeah, I just want to sit in because it's fun. Like, no, let us know what you want to talk about and stuff. And then we'll dive deep into that topic and, go from there. And then also schedule like the dates and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, we're doing it on Sunday morning.
I know.
Just
we do it so
like,
randomly.
Like I said, like for the kids because they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Could always be Monday morning too. But.
Yeah. But we have so many other stories to talk about as far as, stuff to look out for. I know. I wish we were able to cover them. But I guess we'll do that on episode 6 because we're on episode 5 right now. We'll do that episode 6. So we'll try to do them more closer together because we keep messing up apparently with our.
We just need to find like a set stage, a set spot where we could just leave the stuff here because setting this all up and you've seen the little behind the scenes pictures, like, yeah, it just looked like 2 lights, laptops, and mics. Like, no.
Yeah,
it's the wiring, the cameras, the lenses, focus them, and then. Oh my gosh.
All the wiring. I know. It's so insane. There's more to it, guys. But it's been fun. Yeah. And we'll see you guys on episode 6. So stay tuned. Send us any topics you guys want us to talk about. And
I'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.